the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, sound up in the chat. What's going on, Tom Selleck's Goat, the Cruise? How y'all doing? Let's see. Oh boy. Guys, Bitcoin doing not too much, actually. I kind of like where we're at right now. Hey, I'm reporting live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. What? And they have JJ's Cryptic Corner on every single monitor? That's crazy. I asked them not to do that. They said they don't care how humble and good looking and not narcissistic at all whatsoever I'm being. They're going to put it up there anyway, so they're letting me ring the bell every single day as well before the special guest. So I can't, there's nothing I can do. I can't stop them from doing what they're doing. But guys, Bitcoin's looking good. Tom Selleck's Goat said, yo. We got shout out to J-Dubs. This song slaps from The Cruise. Tom Selleck's Goat said 20 minutes until overnight trading opens. And yes, I dig the intro. It's a perfect vibe. I don't know what's happening with my green screen, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's not a green screen, actually. This lights at the New York Stock Exchange, they must be running low on electricity because of all the AI. Shit, it's going to continue to do it. Okay, Bitcoin, $68,936.01. Up 0.05 since the daily close. Currently looking pretty good, actually. We're about to potentially cross bullish over that moving average on the RSI. We get a green dot in the momentum wave on Market Cipher, along with positive money flow. So far, looking a little bit like number may just go up. And we do like number go up. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. We're still logged in. Switch to 12. Get a little zoom action here. Oh my goodness. No wonder we're going up. 48 million at 69,058. Wow. A lot of shorts getting absolutely decimated as we speak. This goes all the way up to 73.18. The downside, whoops. We've got 68,256. And then the very bottom of the bottom right there, we have, I'm going to go right here actually. 66,710. Okay, so let's see if they stop right after this. I suppose 36. Yeah, there's still a pretty decent chunk of liquidity to grab right there. I don't know. It's interesting to see this big fat chunk of shorts right there. I haven't seen that much liquidity, especially on the short side on this chart in quite some time. On the 12-hour especially, 69.58. When did that open? I'm curious. Okay. So they got in. Yeah, they got in today. 10 hours ago or so. Maybe a little bit more. 11 hours? That's crazy. Gonna go buy some BMNR when market opens. I am also going to be purchasing some. Not a ton. You know, I'm gonna slowly start to ladder in. But I don't know. I don't know why I didn't really click in my brain before. I was a little blinded by the bear, but the Mr. Beast handshake, call it what it is a big deal. And I think it'd be silly to not take advantage of that. Because he is, regardless of whether or not you like him, he is the largest content creator on the planet right now. So, them placing their bet on him, I'm placing my bet on them. Because I can't invest privately into Beast Industries or whatever. I don't have that kind of cash, so I'm going to invest vicariously through BitMine. Cheers, guys. We got our dark roast. Absolutely delicious. So far, you guys are saying cash is king. Interesting. Tom Selleck-Scout said, and some more. Avav, senator just bought a bunch of it. Drone stocks to the moon. I actually saw that post on X about that senator buying a bunch of that. So that's interesting. But yeah, Bitcoin looks decent here. ETH down 0.0, or I'm sorry, it depends on when you look at it. Right now it's down 0.00%. Currently chilling at $1,998. I just got a DM and it was not muted. Whoops. Okay. Sorry if that blew your guys' eardrums out. My bad. Anyways, ETH up 0.03% on the day, 1998 on the price. Trying to chip away at that $2,000 important, that psychological $2,000 level. We'll see if we can get above that and start trading in the right direction. We do have a pending bullish crossover this moving average, which is awesome. On the RSI, green dot on the momentum wave also pointed the upside. Money flow is negative, but everything else looks relatively decent. There's potential here. It's honestly, it's going to happen, or it's going to depend entirely on how the stock market opens. The crew said, what happened to JW? Does Hoff server still exist? I believe Hoff server does still exist. I'm not sure what happened to JW. Reese said Zebek only has one more token unlock. Ooh, that's actually huge. And Super App on the 25th of February. Let's go check that unlock. That's actually a big deal. Appreciate the alpha, Reese. Happy Monday, my friend. I don't know why this doesn't just let me start auto-typing. None of these people know how to make a damn website. ZBCN. Okay. All time. It is negative for all time, but it's only 1.23%. More than you can save for most alts. It's actually holding up really, really nicely. One more token unlock. Ooh. Okay, that comes March 12th. March 12th, they are unlocking... what, 3 million? Which is nothing. Wow, that's actually really sick. Cruz said okie dokie, thanks. Absolutely, my friend. Cheers. Okay. Yeah, this is very nice. Unlocked, locked, tracked. Okay, seed round, private round. So everyone is benefiting from this chunk, which is nice. Community and rewards, 53.09%. That's the largest chunk. I like to see that. Contributors get 21. That's okay. Did you make the intro yourself with AI? It's fire. I actually did not. My buddy made it with AI. And normally I'm not a big AI music guy because I'm a musician. My whole family's musicians. My fiance's whole family's musicians. We're all very music centric. But he made it. He was like, I'm going to make your song. I'm like, I don't really. And he's like, come on, man. And he's like, give me genres. And I told him lo-fi. And he plugged in all this stuff, and then that's one of the songs that it spit out, and I listened to it. I was like, damn, this is really good. And I played it one time for the intro, and everyone was like, I love this. And I was like, all right, that's going to be the intro song then. So here we are. What sucks is I have a huge library of licensed music that I've purchased over like the past 12 to 14 months for the channel. And it's literally more convenient for me to use this AI song because the licensing is great. You get to buy them, and it's not expensive at all. It's very, very affordable. But I have the license to this song. I've told YouTube 10,000 times that I have the license to this song, and I still get flagged every single video. So I have to go through the process of appealing it and showing them that I have the license. This giant paragraph of like 1,200 words written out, explaining that I own the license to this song and this is how I prove it. And then they remove the flag every single time, but it's such a pain in the butt to have to go through that every single upload. YouTube has to fix their system. Reese said Zebek to 35 cents soon. 35 cents would be crazy. That would be a crazy one. ZBCN. It's number 138 right now. What do they do? I'm going to just assume that it's like AI. Let's just assume that it's AI. Actually, let's read about it, because I am genuinely curious. Decentralized infrastructure for real-world value flows 2021. Attracted 35 million by Circle, Coinbase, Solana Ventures, blah, blah, blah. From its origin, continuous settlement protocols, Zebek has consolidated multiple protocols and integrated a portfolio of blockchain-enabled real-world asset payment and payroll. Okay, I actually like that. Let's go. Let me do this. Let me go to categories. Let's go to. Can I? What? There we go. Real-world asset protocols. I want to find the number one. Chainlink, I don't think is RWA. I'm going to find the one that I actually know. Ondo. Let's go with Ondo. Ondo's market cap is 1.3 billion. So let's go to market cap of. And let's just compare ZBCN to Ondo. Because that's 1.3 cents. 6.68. That's pretty decent gain at the end of the day, no matter what. So that, to me, would be bare minimum. If you think it can breach, let's just go with Chainlink. Chainlink doesn't really even do anything, to be honest. That's going to be a hot take. I'm joking, by the way. I'm actually joking. Please don't kill me for saying that. 6 cents. There you go. 6.4. 35 is crazy. 35 is like batshit crazy. But I like it. All right. 8th, getting a little green here. This is exciting. What an exciting day, guys. What? I'm on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. RWA and payments already with top companies and partners. Same tokenomics as XRP, but we are better. I like it. Definitely got bigger balls than me. All right. Appreciate the alpha, my friend. They burn tokens too. You know, a lot of people crap on that for some reason. I never understood it. Like, it's tokenomics, man. And the people that crap on it are usually the protocols that don't do that, and their prices are in the gutter. So, why would I burn my token? Maybe so the price goes up, and so you continue to have users. Okay. Bitcoin looks green, up 0.18. Let's continue. Solana's up 0.67% on the day, currently trading at 87.04. Beautiful bounce off of 82.47. Continuing to the upside. Why does everything look so good today? Am I being like recency biased right now? Because it's like a little bit green, so I'm like, wow. This is weird. We got nice big green candles. Volume could be better. Green dot in the momentum wave pointing to the upside. Positive money flow. About to cross bullish over the moving average in the RSI. Let's get back above 90 for Solana. 90's a big point of contention for Sol right now. So getting back above 90 is going to be a big deal. Let's get above that, and then we can start talking about having a little more fun. Total 3, up 0.09. This got a nice bounce off of my little guess of 711 billion, my uber bearish guess. That'd be cool. We do have positive money flow flip, which we have not had since January. Wow. Check XRP market cap to Zebek. I mean, that one's going to be crazy. ZBCN. Just in the spirit of degeneracy, I'll do it. XRP is the 3rd highest. That is a 92 cent. Big boy. Damn. So let's be a little more frugal. Tron literally does nothing. And that's 27 cents. I think anything could flip Tron. So let's see if you can flip Tron. That'd be sick. 27 cents. I'll take it. 88 Metals Mania said, yeah, because it looked so bad last few days makes it look better. This is the placebo effect. Hang on, I got a meme. I got a meme for it. I got to have these on, like, just ready to go, on point. I guess it's nice to have it on my desktop, but bam! Ooh! Oh! That's how I feel right now. Oh! That's the entire... This is total 3 right now. Oh, looks amazing. Little recovery for ants, a little dead cat bounce for ants. It literally looks identical. This is not even a meme. This is just actually what the freaking chart looks like. Oh man. Yeah, total 3 looks good. Let's get back above this trend line here. Not that the trend line is super relevant, but it's slowly becoming relevant. The more all the candles interact with it. Let's get back above 740 and then hopefully 750. Our October 10th wick from the alleged Binance accusations is in play as well. We've kind of filled that on most of these charts, so it'd be interesting if we turned around right after that. That would be very, very interesting. Get a little tinfoil hat up in this. ADA is down 0.03% on the day, currently trading at 28.57. Can we get back above 30 with ADA? We're struggling with that. We broke below it, got a little double bottom rejection once, twice, 3 times, came all the way down to the previous bear market low. Got a nice little like baby back bounce, bounced off of 25, rejected 30 twice. Now we're coming down for a little liquidity sweep at around 28. Can we use that as enough support foundation strength to break back above 30 and start trending to the correct direction? Again, positive money flow, big deal on these charts. Haven't seen it since January. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. We got it on Bitcoin. We got it on our ETH is actually negative at the moment. Solana is positive. Total 3 is positive. ADA is positive. Snack is negative. Currently trading at 0.0005816. Can we get back above 6? Would be more exciting than 5816. Time will tell. Snack is inevitable. I believe it. I'm very biased. You should definitely not listen to me when I talk about this because I'm just going to be blindly, overly bullish about it because I own a considerably large amount. So, but I'm trying to be transparent. I would like to see it get a bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI. RSI is coiled up, but it's on the higher end. So I don't know. We had a big, ginormous rebound right here, so I would not be surprised if we did linger a little bit longer, even if everything else starts to lift up, get a little more breath in it. We'll see. We'll see. Midnight did have positive money flow. It's back to a nothing burger, currently sitting at 0.056. I'm probably gonna buy some of this. I mean, I have some. I'm probably gonna buy some more. I mean, I think I might incorporate it into a DCA for a couple of weeks, just to accumulate a little more. It's at a decent decent price compared to where it was at. So people are talking privacy more, and this is starting to pop up in conversations. It's number 58, I think. I was actually quite surprised at how high it is. I was not expecting it to be this high, this early. Tau is another big one. Yeah, number 57. That's crazy. Like, this thing just freaking launched and it's already in the top 100. What are you talking about, bro? So I'm going to start accumulating some of it. G Immortal said, "Sup, JJ?" What's going on, G Immortal? Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. It really helps out the channel when you guys smash the like button. Smashing the like button and participating in the live chat. Is my background really that, like, jacked? Can it stay not jacked? That would be cool. Okay. Maybe I gotta stand farther back from the... I forgot to work out before my stream too. Dang it. Cheers, guys. Happy Monday. It does not feel like the work week. I went from busting my butt on a job site for like the entire winter to now having to be in the office for probably the next month. So it's gonna psych me out. Saeed said, "Hi, sir. How you doing, Saeed? Happy Monday, my friend. Happy Tuesday for you, I believe. Good morning. Hope you guys have a sick, amazing day." XRP, $1.48, down 0.28 since the daily close. XRP is struggling to get above 150. We had a really nice, strong bounce off of this $1.34 support, but it has since rejected. Obviously, fast move, false move. We got fast move right here, got retraced, not all the way, about halfway. Found a little double bottom support off that 34. Got a nice recovery. Really tried to bust through that 150 with conviction. Didn't quite play out. Got some nice big fat high volume sell candles, and it has since started to linger and slowly accumulate to the upside again. We do have positive money flow here as well. Again, I cannot reiterate enough how important that is. The last time on most of these charts, And again, you know, it's a random indicator, so you don't have to just blindly be like, oh, that means we're gonna flip bullish. That's not true. Bitcoin, it's wishy-washy. You see right now it just flipped negative again. But we'll have to see how this closes. But the last time we even had any green was in January, mid-January. So since mid-January, we've been dropping. We have not had positive money flow. We are now suddenly showing signs of positive money flow, signs of life being breathed back into the market, being injected, inflated back into the market, what have you. And that's huge. I think that's a big deal. ETH, not so much. It's still wishy-washy. And, you know, it's still a big deal if there's even any popping up. We got 3 right there. And we haven't seen that since mid-January. On ETH, Solana, a little more solid. And it looks so good, too. Again, since mid-January. It's been a solid month since we've seen positive money flow on any of these charts. So it's a really big deal. We're going to continue to keep an eye on it. But XRP needs to get back above $1.50. Right now, that level is purely psychological. Right here. Tried, failed, we're trying again. And we're right up against it. We're really smashing up against that ceiling. Breaking through that's going to be a big one. We want to break above it and stay above it. Red dot in the momentum wave on Sunday still in play. H-bar in the news again today. People talking about the FedEx partnership. Big deal. Currently sitting at 10 cents. It is solidifying its place above 10 cents, which is awesome. This is exactly what we want to see. We talked about 10 cents being resistance level, big psychological level. Before that, we were at, it looked like about 9.5-ish was like horizontal resistance right here. We broke below that. We had resistance 1, 2, we'll call it 3, 4, 5, sure. And then we broke above it and we got above 10. And with that break above 10, we held it as support with a nice little retest, and we're now continuing to the upside. Couple of attempts to go below, but those didn't stick. He even had some nice hefty sell candles or sell wicks. Not too much. G Immortal said tax refund is coming. Retail is back. Yes, that is very exciting. Actually, I'm excited for that. I'm just excited for my own tax refund. The earned income tax credit and the additional child tax, or the child tax credit, whatever it's called. They make you wait to protect your identity, which is really funny. Because you know that they're just, it's when you pay taxes and you overpay and the government owes you, they just give you what you're owed. You know what I mean? But if you borrow money, you have to pay an interest rate. Even if it's the government lending you the money, you have to pay interest on that money. But when you pay taxes and you overpay, you are literally essentially giving the government a loan of several $1,000s, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, for 12 months, and they pay 0 interest on that loan. They're just like, oops, you gave us too much money. Thanks for letting us use it for 12 months. Here you go. And they went back and, you know, they made a shit ton of money on it, wherever the hell else they put it. So, I don't know. It's a little sus to me. It's a little sketchy. If we're getting the patriotic, you know, anti-system anarchy kind of hat out, that's the route that I'm going. I'm just saying. Obviously, none of us here like taxes, but there's another reason to dislike taxes. As if there wasn't enough reasons. Anyways, H-bar looks awesome here. Bouncing off at 10 cents. SWI up 0.42. I want to see SWI get back above $1. We saw it for a brief second back here. It failed, and it's doing the thing. We had a lot of high volume selling right here. Same as Solana, actually. So I'm wondering if there was an event tied around that. But we got a bearish cross over the moving average in the RSI, which is currently turning into a bullish cross. Can we see if we can get back above that with some conviction? Green dot in the momentum wave. Again, signs of life with that positive money flow. That's the first one, again, that we've seen since mid-January. So something to keep an eye on for sure. Other than that, let's get above $1 and start trading above $1 again with SWI. My biggest concern right now with all of these charts is that this may end up being a bear flag, and we don't want that. And if it is, if it is a bear flag, we want to break bullish and invalidate the bear flag. Obviously, a reversal has to come eventually. Not every single uptrend is a bear flag, but so far, it's given bear flag vibes. Ondo not doing a whole lot, struggling, same as everything else. It's got potential here for something. I don't know, maybe fugging the inverse head and shoulder. You got your Adam Eve right here. You broke out. Maybe you're retesting and continuing the upside. I kind of like that. Let's go with that argument. You're retesting the Adam Eve double bottom breakout. You got positive money flow again since mid-January, or actually almost early January. So that's a big deal on Ondo. Green dot of the momentum wave point to the upside. Your RSI is still below the moving average, but kind of dancing around. Volume could be better. Volume looks really, really bad right here. That looks really bad. So I would like to see that increase. Aerodrome is up 1.02%. That's actually kind of cool. This has potential for an inverse head and shoulder for sure. You got left shoulder, head, right shoulder. 35.42. I don't know, see if we can get above that. Volume could be better here as well. Look at all this volume back here. It's nice. You got some big candle, and then it just kind of dies out, and you get very few little tiny spikes. It's like pity candles. So let's get that volume up. Let's get that liquidity increased. Skip some. Let's go to Avalanche, down 0.22. With Avalanche, it's going to be a big deal when we get back into this range. Because, well, is it? Yeah, I think it is. We got support, support, break, resistance, resistance, break, resistance again, and then support and breakdown. It's not as relevant as I wanted it to be, but it's there. We'll keep it up just in case it ends up coming to play, but I'm not going to put too much stock in it. Avalanche was a little bit overbought back here when it hit 970, 960, 970. Currently, RSI is sitting smack dab in the middle at 50. And what's interesting is last time right here was at 50. So this is a perfect example of an RSI reset. It was at 50 right here when it first hit this price from being, back here. So this is already, getting a little bit high. And you climbed way higher. It's overbought, pulls back, and it is now sitting 3-4% higher than where it was when the RSI hit 50 there. And it's at a 50 RSI here. So that is an RSI reset. It just basically reestablished that level at a lower RSI for you to be able to continue climbing to the upside. So that's nice to see. We want to see if that continues. Money flow positive for the first time since early January. Yeah. The possibility is there for Avalanche. Again, though, volume looks really bad. We want to see volume pick up for sure. Look at this RSI. Since mid-January, the RSI has been pretty much trading in the lower half of the chart this whole entire time. It just flipped bullish. And by flipped bullish, I mean it's above 50. So that's another big one. There's all of these metrics. And you can even see on Market Cipher, all of these clouds are on the lower half. Lower half, lower half, lower half. You have a teeny tiny little spike right here. And that's even minimal. And that wasn't even, that was this tiny little hump. The price went positive for a microsecond. So the fact that we're getting big clouds to the upper half shows that at least some buying pressure is leaning back into the market slowly but surely. Chainlink down 0.22% on the day, currently trading at $8.92. Chainlink has positive money flow, consistently, which is really nice. We got a green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside. That money flow, okay, goes back to January 20th, last time it was there. What's going on with Chainlink? We got, I guess, the potential for Adam Eve breakout. We're back below that neckline, though. That's what we can call it. I don't know. This one's a little wishy-washy. Volume is really bad here as well. Just like everything else. It was great here. This one's great. This one is bad. This one's bad. So it kind of only had good volume on this super violent downside. The choppy sideways. Nobody really wants to buy choppy sideways Chainlink. It is below $10 though, so I don't know. I'm probably gonna load up on all of these. Even if I put $10 in, it becomes $50. That's a 5x. That is a 5x. If you do that for all these coins, you're diversified. You've minimized your risk, and it might just be a gamble. But you got to be willing to take a gamble sometimes if you want to make some money. $8.93. Let's get back above $9. Catch up with Avalanche. They got a different market cap, but similar price. So let's get back above $9 for Chainlink. I think it deserves it. Doge, we were talking about the other day. Household name. Back below this trend line. When was it? It was way, way back. We were talking about Doge going back to 10 cents. And that's exactly what happened. I don't remember where it was, though. Was it? It might have been right here. March, April 2025. I was like, I bet you Doge is going to 10 cents. And it bounced off of 14, 15, and then it got even higher. It went up to like 30. So even there, you know, that's why I don't just blindly listen to people, because I was looking at a potential for 10 cents. You would have missed out on a 3x right there. And that's just me throwing out a guess. You know what I mean? I'm going to call out what I see in the chart, but no one's ever right 100% of the time. I'm just going to point out things that I see. What's spooky is that we're below this trend line, and that's a pretty far-reaching trend line. This thing goes all the way back to Dogecoin's, not Dogecoin's inception, but Dogecoin's like real first initial pump in 2021. This thing's been on the up and up, and it's now finally starting to break down below that, which is a little spooky, a little scary. We'll have to keep an eye on that. As of right now, we're sitting at 10 cents, which is good. Staying above that would be important. Nice psychological level. Gold. Gold is down 1.85% on the day. Let's go into the 4 hour. Currently sitting at 49.47 and 32 cents. Is gold going to pump or dump? Unfortunately, it is starting to decouple from the fractal, which is a little bit scary here. Money flow on gold has been positive for forever, it seems. Like, had a little bit of a bad time June, July 2025, but it's been solid green for a considerably large period of time. Okay. We got an alert arrow. Arrow up 5.13% from Coinbase. I think their timeline is different because according to this, arrow is up 1.61%. It does look decent though. But anyways, gold, I want to see this turn into a wick. I do. I want to see this climb back up, but it might not happen. Maybe we got our little downtrend and this is our curl up, and then maybe that's our base and we establish that until Wednesday, Thursday. And then we start to take off. I don't know. Move the goalpost a little bit, but I don't mind it. Sometimes you got to move the goalposts. Cheers, guys. Once again, happy Monday. Okay. Silver's going to be in the dumper. Is it? I don't understand. Down 3.72%. Currently trading at 74.44. I want to ask Grok. I want Grok 4.2 to come out so bad, man. Grok 4.2 is coming out apparently this week or next week. Do you think silver is going to go higher within the next, I'm going to say 6 months and the next 12 months? Let's see what Grok says. But anyways, 74.44. It's sad seeing it below 75. 75 is a big point of contention. That's a big psychological level. Obviously, we bounced off of it here, faked out below it here, bounced here and here, and it's like a bouncy ball. You know, it eventually loses its momentum and it starts to flatline, plateau, if you will. So interesting to see the price go lower and the RSI be higher. That's like slight bullish div. Not too much to go off of though. Like we get a reversal here, I could make that case for bullish div, but we would need to see the reversal for it first, with the RSI actually going lower. It's kind of up in the air right now. Yeah, no, I think it's flat on the RSI and the price is higher, so the potential's there. Potential's there. Not that that would really mean much, it's just divergence. We got a red dot in the momentum wave, pointed to the downside. Our cloud is on a lower chunk for quite some time though. Since the 12th? I guess that's not quite some time. I don't know. It feels weird feeling like this is bad because of how good it's like. Look at this gigantic run from $47 up to $74. That's a huge win. It's like a 50% increase, especially on something like silver. That's crazy. So it'll be interesting to see, I suppose, if this continues the upside, continues to linger sideways, or if it actually does break down. Obviously, this anomaly right here, this one was crazy. That big breakdown. I don't know. I don't know. Stock market opens back up tomorrow. Obviously, we got gold and silver futures at the moment. DXY, 97,123. Slowly grinding up. I'm still waiting for this thing to do something. 88 Metals Mania said it's another one of them ones that look worse or better than it is. She has been hot. That is true. 97.12 on DXY. Bouncing off the moving average on the RSI. That's good. I guess for upside, that's good for upside. It's maybe not good for us, but what are you going to do? Got a green dot in the momentum waypoint to the upside too. Again, I don't know if market cipher really applies to the DXY, but we're going to call it out anyways. Let's see. Technically, there's no bullish div, which is good for us. I don't know. I just want to see this thing break down and continue to break down. I think that's the best case scenario for assets and investments. Worst case scenario for like the average worker. So if it does go up, it's kind of like a hedge. Your money becomes more valuable, so it's not the end of the world. It's actually a decent thing for when you go grocery shopping and stuff. We did originally get into this space, or at least I did personally, to try to preserve my capital. So if my capital preserves itself, that kind of eliminates the need for all this stress. I'm still going to continue to invest because investment has outperformed by a considerably large margin over longer periods of time, and I plan on living for longer periods of time. So, but yeah, this breakdown is kind of crazy. Even not even the breakdown alone, but like also the fact that it's been lingering for so long at this lower level. If I were to copy this and put it right here, look at how much longer. Yeah, see, instead of bouncing right here, it actually broke down. And then let me do the same thing with this other fractal. Let's take this one, same exact thing. Instead of continuing to the upside, it broke down. This one, I guess, has a little more, it lasted a little bit longer. So that one's a little closer argument to what we're seeing right here. But even still, if I did that, if you bounce and continue to the upside, this broke down. And it's below that trend line. So is this just gonna be an extended downside? Because we've seen it extend, but only once before. We had this little double bottom, didn't last too long. This double bottom lasted a little bit longer, and this one right now had a double bottom, and now it's setting up a third. In hindsight, if this does end up bouncing and going up, then you could technically call this whole thing just one big double bottom. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see how it plays out. RSI does look weak though. Okay. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, still chilling. Let's go to the 4-hour. Zoom in. Okay. 134.24. Didn't trade today, so nothing really too much to look at. It's still up 8.85% from Friday. We'll see what Monday opens with. Let's go check really quick the stock market after hours. After hours stocks, we've got Dow up 0.07, S&P up 0.13, and NASDAQ up 0.03. So, bit of a nothing burger, very flat. Probably waiting. Who knows? What's still blowing my mind, and I feel like it wasn't talked about enough, so I'm going to mention it a little bit more today. Jobs numbers for the entirety of 2025 were revised down by 1 million. 1 million jobs. That is crazy. That is so insane to me. But nobody cares. Everyone's like, oh, whatever, it's no big deal. You know, what are you going to do? Maybe revise interest rates that were based on those jobs numbers. NASDAQ. Again, same as MicroStrategy. We're waiting for open. Oh no, is NASDAQ futures open right now? 24,746. It did change. I'm looking for, which we drew it yesterday, this to play out potentially, and that is strictly based on this, just on a larger inflated scale. And you know, again, we're putting a little bit of stock, pun intended, into the failed NASDAQ fractal. Call it what you want. I'd still say 65-70% of it played out. think that's fair. You know, this is the missed portion. That's about 75%, right? How do I figure that out? Right here. So we've got a total of approximately 120 and 90 of it. Yeah, exactly. Wow, that was spot on. Sometimes I'm good at math. Very cool. I guess I'm good at visual math. 88 Metals Mania said they make all them numbers up. In my opinion, they do. They 100% do. They 100% do. And they get paid to do it too, which is kind of crazy. But anyways, NASDAQ bouncing off that moving average in the RSI, looking good. Pointing the upside. Green dot on the momentum wave also pointing the upside. Negative money flow. I don't know if that even works for the NASDAQ, but again, we're going to continue to point it out. S&P 500 looking good. We got our dip from our fractal. And then we get kind of like a linger and then a gap down. So we'll see if we get a gap down as well. And then another linger and then a pop. And that pop could come in the form of just like a nice 45 or a pop retrace and then that 45. Regardless, we got this bad boy mapped out to March. So let's see what happens. Ask Fractal 3.0 reporting for duty. Bitcoin chilling. Up 0.04. Let's get to the news segment. We got a big expiry according to somebody. I don't remember who it was. They stopped by and they mentioned it. Coming up on this Friday, on the 20th. So keep that in mind. Grok said short-term outlook. Next 6 months, silver could continue near-term volatility, modest downside risk as the current correction plays out. However, fundamentals remain strongly supportive of a rebound and higher prices by mid-2026. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Persistent supply deficits. See, this is my concern. Industrial demand. Investment and macroeconomic tailwinds. Analyst forecasts. I don't really care about what JP Morgan wants. In summary, yes, I expect silver prices to move higher over both the next 6 months, likely recovering from the current dip, and especially the next 12 months, potentially reaching the $80 to $100 range by early 2027. Assuming no major recession derails industrial demand. This is not financial advice. Precious metals are inherently volatile, and past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Now, the reason why I was so vocal about Grok 4.2 is because we watched in the news segment, actually. I don't remember what platform it was, but there was a platform that was doing AI versus humans, or just AI versus AI for trading. And Grok 4.2 was one of the secret models, and it was the only profitable model out of, I think, both contests. So I am excited for Grok 4.2 to come out. Now, when it comes out, is that going to change? Is it going to be some kind of self-fulfilling prophecy because everyone's going to be using it for that? Maybe. I have no idea. 88 Metals Mania said, will metals go down once Trump lowers tariffs on metals? Ooh, that's a good question too, yeah. If Trump lowers tariffs on metals, could that drop the price? All right, news segment. House of Crypto. If you guys have not followed or even heard of House of Crypto, I highly recommend you check them out. Brilliant, brilliant videos. At the end of the day, might not be right all the time, but he's got great insight. I actually don't know if that's even topical, right or wrong. I don't know if he makes calls like that. Been listening to him a lot lately. It's pretty good, like primo copium. He's a very well-spoken individual. He sounds like he knows a lot more than I do, so recommend you check him out. Okay. Global M2 lied to us. Remember last year when M2 tracked Bitcoin perfectly until it didn't? Yeah, I missed it too. But I think I figured out what exactly broke the correlation and why the next few months could look very strong for crypto. The correlation ended around July. Global M2 kept rising, but crypto fell and nobody could fully explain it. Here's what likely changed. While global liquidity was rising, Japan M2 had been falling since around July, shortly after the April 2025 tariff shock, Liberation Day, or as we like to call it, Liquidation Day. And this matters a lot because Japan's liquidity reflects deployable leverage, carry trade fuel, not just passive money supply. Here's why Japan's M2 matters specifically. Carry trade funding currency Ultra-low Japanese rates make the yen a global funding currency. Investors borrow yen to lever into higher yield assets. When Japan M2 expands, it often signals more cheap leverage entering global markets. Largest external creditor nation. Japan exports capital at massive scale. Changes in its money supply tend to show up in global asset flows, not just domestic demand. Bank-driven liquidity system, unlike quantitative easing, heavy systems elsewhere. Japanese liquidity mainly flows through bank lending channels. This type most closely tied to risk asset rallies. The type most closely tied to risk asset rallies. Now, with about a 10-week lag, Japan M2 is turning up again. Historically, that's when risk assets begin accelerating. Check the chart. Japan M2 peaks green and troughs red line up closely with Bitcoin cycle turns. Follow the leverage, not the headlines. Very, very interesting. So we got a beautiful chart here. We do got a Bitcoin. That is the Bitcoin top, which actually very heavily correlates again with the US or the ISM PMI chart that we were talking about, looking at. This actually lines up better because the ISM PMI kind of was a miss on this most recent all-time high. We did just chart that better yesterday, though, so maybe it was a little bit closer, but it didn't expand above 50, so it was just a little bit confusing there. But we got Japan peak, Bitcoin peak, Japan trough, Bitcoin trough, Japan peak, Bitcoin peak, Japan trough, Bitcoin trough, Japan peak, Bitcoin peak, Japan trough, Bitcoin trough. Interesting. I like it. I haven't seen anybody present this thesis yet. That's actually great. Good insight. Will DGen posted, Harvard just moved from Bitcoin to Ethereum. They sold about 21% of their Bitcoin ETF and used some of that cash to buy 87 million in an Ethereum ETF. Simple version, they didn't leave crypto, they just switched some money from Bitcoin to Ethereum. The Bitcoin maxis are probably livid about that, which is kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what Grok said. Yes, if President Trump lowers tariffs on metals, it could put downward pressure on the prices, including silver in certain contexts. General economic impact. Tariffs act like a tax on imports. Recent examples. Direct U.S. tariff on silver bullion imports are generally low or zero under normal conditions, but uncertainty from potential Section 232 actions tied to national security and critical minerals drove prices higher in late 2025. Early 2026, the January deferral directly contributed to price pullback, showing how even the resolution of tariff risks can lower prices. That said, silver prices are influenced by many factors beyond tariffs, industrial demand, mining supply, USD strength, and geopolitics, so any drop would be solely due to tariff changes. This is not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it's like yes, but also a maybe. Crypto Spaces said, are we bullish yet? I mean, I feel like I'm bullish long term no matter what. I've discussed probably to an exhaustive detail how even if the market goes to zero, I'm never selling my bags. I think that fully exiting a position is insanity, and it's a lot easier to live with losing money, whatever amount. It's a lot easier to live with having lost, for example, $10,000 than it is to live with knowing that you missed out on potential millions of dollars. Like imagine you have 10K in Bitcoin. Not even Bitcoin. Let's say you have 10K in SWI. And you're like, man, this thing sucks. I had 20K, it dropped 50%, I'm down to 10. I'm gonna sell, I'm exiting. I'm leaving. I'm done. Done with crypto. You take your 10K. You feel good. You're like, okay, I preserved some of my capital. I got my 10K. You go spend it on whatever. You still work 9 to 5, whatever. You just happen to have 10K extra. SWI does a 100x. Your $10,000 now could have been 1 million. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? Now, this is not meant to get you to buy a bunch of crypto or anything like that, but that's just my own personal thought process. it is a lot easier for me to cope with losing money than it would be for me to cope with missing out on millions. So that's my thesis. Anyways, news segment continued. A tech stock short squeeze is coming. Short interest in technology sector ETF is up to a 1.8%, the highest in at least 6 years. This percentage has doubled over the last few weeks. Furthermore, on Wednesday, investors shorted over 58 million Microsoft shares, representing 0.8% of its free float, near the high end of its range over the last 5 years. Salesforce has 18 million shares sold short, or around 1.9% of its free float, its 100th percentile over the last few years. All while the short interest in software ETF IGV spiked to around 19% last week, near the highest on record. Short exposure is hitting multi-year highs. Calvin said, I remember when Bitcoin went from 8K to 3K during the C crash, that is the pandemic crash. Then there was Caroline and FTX, yet here we are complaining about today's price around 66K. Exactly. We actually went over on Valentine's Day, the Bitcoin prices during Valentine's Day. And it was kind of crazy to see. It was like up, 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 down, up, 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 down, up, up, down, you know. It was crazy. It was crazy. I don't know how to fix this lighting thing with my... I think it's when I get really close. Yeah, it like autofocuses the color or something. It changes that. When I'm back here, it looks great. I'm at the New York Stock Exchange. Calvin said, yep, I read that. Okay. Yeah, Bitcoin's just lingering right now. Not a whole lot going on. Market's pretty quiet. Silver trade posted. Gold $20,000 calls surged to 11,000 contracts. Deep out of the money December gold 15,000 to 20,000 call spreads are surging. Who exactly is betting on gold 3x to 4xing by December? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Fed will inject $16 billion in liquidity into the economy this week. Good for markets. Thank you, Daddy Jerome. This one was kind of cool. Kraken to sponsor Trump accounts for all Wyoming newborns in 2026. So if you have a baby born in Wyoming, Kraken and the Trump administration, so you'll get at least $2,000 into that account for your baby. And it's an investment account. Your baby gets access to it when they turn 18 or something like that. It's a really cool incentive. I think it's really neat. They're trying to boost that population growth rate, man. I'm telling you, they need that. It's all our entire like society, monetary, global, everything is based on the population increasing forever. Forever. It is a Ponzi, and it's entirely reliant on the population increasing. So nothing's going to change until we change our ways and not rely on our population increasing, because maybe someday people don't want to have kids, and maybe we just maintain our population. Why is that such a big deal? Why can't we just maintain the population? This is one thing that really drives me crazy, and I understand for publicly traded companies, there's like a pressure to do better every single time. But if I have a small business and I'm bringing in enough money to pay my employees and pay for all my expenses and maybe put in like a couple grand away every year, I'm going to be more than happy with that. You know, break even, a little bit of surplus for emergencies. But other people are like, no, we need to expand exponentially. If we're not growing at like a 50% rate every single year, then we're not doing it right. And to me, that's just greed. And that is what eats people alive. And then, you know, they end up filthy rich or completely broke. And in both scenarios, they're completely miserable. Giovanni Fontes, maintained population means no more money for more people for them. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, man. The Ponzi. It's ridiculous. We need to change the system to not be so reliant on the constant Ponzinomics, the pyramid scheme, the multi-level marketing, if you will, of growing exponential population growth. I don't know. I would love to be president one day. I'm just kidding. I don't want that job. I would love to be whatever the hell Besant is. Just the person pulling the strings, the puppet master. you know? Okay. But yeah, I thought this was really cool. This is actually sick. Justin, Elon Musk says Jeffrey Epstein launched a massive campaign to short Tesla after being ghosted. This is kind of cracking me up because everything got published and Elon, like, clearly, allegedly, not financial advice, it seemed like he was trying to get an invite from what I've read, you know? Like, at first, it was really funny. He was like, that would be an unproductive use of my time. And then they, like, let him know, they're like, hey, it's a freaky, like, Diddy party. And then he, like, replied, and he's like, hey, man, I'm trying to unwind. And he, like, sent this email on Christmas. He's like, I'm trying to unwind. Girls for the win. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing, dude. It's such a weird vibe. I don't know. These people are crazy. But, I mean, clearly he didn't get to the island. But it seemed like he wanted to go there. I don't know if he knew everything that was going on there, but I mean, you can't, I feel like you can't talk crap on online if you're seen, like, there's evidence of you emailing, being like, come on, man, please. That's so weird to me. Anyways, we'll move on. Steak and Shake says its sales have risen dramatically since it started accepting Bitcoin payments. Hell yeah. America. Elon Musk says he has less than $850 million in cash, 0.1% of his net worth. Damn, what a poor bastard. He's probably going to have to file bankruptcy soon. I only have, or I'm sorry, they didn't say only. He has less than $850 million in cash. I don't know, just saying less than is kind of crazy. President Trump says prices and inflation are way down, stock market, and your 401ks are way up. All right. X, Amazon Web Services, and Cloudflare were down earlier. I guess Spectrum was down as well. This is literally ISP. I don't know what the hell that has to do with anything. Giovanni said, oh, what's up, though? Been a minute. How you doing, my friend? Happy Monday. Bitcoin 68,969. Very nice. Up 0.11%. Trying to decide if it wants to be green or not. Marty Party said U.S. markets are closed today for President's Day holiday. Happy President's Day, everyone, by the way. Don't forget to smash the like button. Really helps drive engagement for the channel. We've been growing in subs, so you guys, I appreciate you. Also, participate in the chat and the poll. We got 11 votes on the poll. Let's give it a close and do a new poll. And let you guys watch Bitcoin while we get that sorted. I asked you guys, which assets are you betting on for the remainder of 2026? And a clear winner, 46% of you guys said Bitcoin and or altcoins. 36% of you guys said cash is king. 9% said tech stocks. And 9% said precious metals. We got 11 votes. Appreciate you guys. Let's do poll numero dos. Where is Bitcoin heading at tomorrow's opening bell? Giovanni said, cash is king? Ew. Dude, one of my videos recently had that in the thumbnail, and it actually, like, took off. Like, out of nowhere, like, 2 days after I streamed it, and there's people replying, they're like, what do you mean cash is king? The dollar's going down. That's the plan. Breakout. Breakout to 71K plus. Rejection to 65K. Choppy sideways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Ask you guys, where's Bitcoin heading at tomorrow's opening bell? You got breakout to 71K plus, rejection to 65K, or choppy sideways. Let me know what you think. Bitcoin's still chilling, 68,933. Yeah, I like, it's hard to tell. This is definitely like some kind of consolidating. I just don't want it to be a bear flag, you know? The falling wedge, kind of triangle, symmetrical triangle situation. We got positive money flow and a green dot. I don't know, man. Marty Party posted stablecoin mint 2 minutes ago. Another 250 million USDC issued on Solana. 7.64 billion issued in Solana this rolling month. Stablecoin usage by large participants. Solana 62%. Ethereum 38%. Marty Party also has a new Wyckoff. This is a different Wyckoff chart. I don't know what this is, maybe distribution, who knows? Oh no, I'm sorry, it says Wyckoff accumulation. So he's estimating accumulation, I guess, heading March, April, May, probably April, May, June. I don't know. It's just an idea. That was interesting observation from Marty Party. He also posted Cloudflare is being actively DDoS attacked and remains a centralized single point of failure on the legacy internet, Web 2. This will interrupt all Web 2 platforms that do human verification with Cloudflare, including X. Going decentralized on Web 3 is the future, and industry will come around to this soon. Until then, you know what to do. I do find it interesting how frequently this has been occurring lately. And maybe I just was never really paying attention too much to it before, but I feel like I have been. It's just crazy to see it go down like every other day. It's blowing my mind. Marty Barney also posted, "You are here. This is an accumulation to 2032. I've shared this chart since 2008. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. 2032 is in the middle right there. Years of hard times. Yeah, I don't think he knows what this is. Like, I got respect for the guy in some regards, but 2032 is supposed to be a bad year. This is the year of hard times, low prices, and a good time to buy stocks, corner lots, goods, etc., and hold till the boom reaches the year of good times, then unload. The year of good times is B, which is 2026, bro. That's right now. That is literally happening right now. 2032 is not the right year. Okay, then we've got Kobayashi letter. Tech stock squeeze is coming. Didn't I just read this? Am I crazy? Short exposure hitting multi-year highs. Consumer staple stocks are thriving. The S&P 500 consumer staples sector is up 17% in 5 weeks. Its best performance since the 2020 pandemic recovery. Only 4 other 5-week runs have been stronger since 1990, including February 1991, November 1998, April 2000, and April 2020. This comes as investors bought a record $3.6 billion in consumer staple stocks and ETFs over the last four weeks. This brings the 4-week average of net purchases to $912 million, an all-time high. By comparison, average over the previous 52 weeks was just $7 million. Investors are piling into defense stocks at a record pace. Damn. Let me check up on the chat. Calvin said Pickwick voted for the other, but wouldn't doubt if you're right. Yeah, that's the other question as well. Do you vote for your bias, or do you vote for what you think is actually going to happen? You know what I mean? Bitcoin 68,933. Pretty close to 69. We could round up. U.S. white-collar hiring is extremely weak. There are now just 1.6 job openings per 100 employees. Wow! In the profession and business services sector, the lowest in at least 11 years. This ratio has more than halved since 2021 and is even lower than the 2020 pandemic bottom. Furthermore, the ratio of unemployed to job openings in the industry is down to 4%, nearly matching 2020 lows. This comes as total job openings in this sector are down 1.4 million since the March 2022 peak to 1 million, the lowest since May 2020. Over the same period, the hiring rate is down 1.8 percentage points to 4.2%, in line with levels seen during the 2008 financial crisis. The U.S. white-collar recession is accelerating. Damn. We need more power. Global data center power demand is now expected to rise to a record 1,596 terawatt hours by 2035. That would mark a 255% increase from 2025 levels. The U.S. is set to remain the leader in consumption, with a 144% surge in demand over this period to 430 terawatt hours. China's demand is projected to rise 255% to 397 terawatt hours, while European demand is expected to surge 303% to 274 terawatt hours. New data centers are coming online between now and 2030. Will need more than 600 terawatt hours of electricity. This is enough to power 60 million homes. AI growth will be contingent on generating more power. That's actually insane. Kobayashi later posted, market volatility is surging beneath the surface. The spread between average single stock 2-week volatility and the NASDAQ 100's volatility is up to 20.7 points, the highest since 2020. This measures how much individual stocks are moving compared to the index, meaning the wider the spread, the more extreme the moves under the surface. This spread has doubled over the last month, now 3 times higher than 4-year average. Furthermore, the 3-month implied volatility spread between single stocks and the Nasdaq 100 is up to 18.4 points, the highest in at least 5 years. By comparison, during the April 2025 sell-off, expected volatility stood at 11 points. This means the market is pricing in continued single stock stress. Despite the broad market looking calm, volatility is severe in many parts of the market. Interesting. Breaking, SpaceX and XAI are competing in a secretive, I like that they say secretive and then they continue to tell you about it, secretive new U.S. Pentagon contest to produce voice-controlled autonomous drone swarming technology per Bloomberg. The winner of the challenge will be awarded $100 million. I feel like that's not that hard to make. Am I crazy? Like, I feel like there's so many people just on YouTube alone that could make that. It's kind of creepy to think about if we're being real. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. In case you guys are curious and you want to be a degenerate gambler, check out the Kalshi referral in the description. When you sign up and trade with $25 or more, we both earn $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. It's a lot of fun, but again, it is gambling, so treat it as such. Help support the channel. The CoinMarketCap Fear and Greed Index is at a 12. Yesterday, it was also at a 12, so we're break even right now, plateaued, completely flat. Subscribe if you haven't already. Top 10 looks the same as it did yesterday and the day before and the entire previous week, so nothing's changed there. Bitcoin's still lingering. Nothing really going on in the rest of these charts. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's quiet. Arrow's still looking decent with 1.54% to the upside. Everything else very much waiting. Watching and waiting. News segment continued. Japanese markets are making history. This actually goes in line with that Japan M2 situation as well. The correlation between the Japanese yen and the Topix stock index just flipped positive for the first time since 2005. Wow. This means both the yen and Japanese stocks are rising together, a rare historical signal in this market. The shift comes as the yen has strengthened 1% against the USD over the last year, while the Topix index has rallied 38%. Historically, such a pattern has typically occurred during secular bull markets like Japan 1982 to 1990, Germany 1985 to 1995, so we got 8 years, then 10 years, and China in 2000 to 2008. That's 8 years, so 8, 10, 8. Are we due for another 10? That'd be kind of sick. Imagine a 10-year bull run. Wow. Keep watching Japan. Let's go. Look at that thing. It's been in the gutter since 2008. Wow. Breaking, U.S. national debt is set to surge $2.4 trillion per year over the next 10 years, according to new CBO estimates. As a result, U.S. debt will likely reach a record $64 trillion in 2036, doubling from 2023 levels. That would triple the debt recorded in 2018 before the pandemic, all while the annual interest costs on federal debt excuse me, are expected to more than double to $2.1 trillion over the next 10 years. This also assumes the economy will not fall into a recession over the entire period. $64 trillion in debt is now the base case. How did we end up here? You know what's crazy? When you see this and you personally have no debt, what are you supposed to think of that? You know what I mean? JShare 2.0 said, "Sup family?" What's going on, JShare 2.0? Appreciate you. Happy Monday, my friend. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here, as always. China's 2008 moment is happening. New home prices in 70 Chinese cities fell 0.4% month over month in January. I like it when they do this. They're like, 2008 housing financial crisis, and then like it fell less than 0.5%. Like, bro, take a breath. It's gonna be okay. It's Kwame said, "What's up, JJ? What's going on?" It's Kwame. Happy Monday, my friend. Cheers. Every time 2 people show up, I'll take another sip of coffee. How quick can JJ have a heart attack? Back to 10K. Bitcoin's going to 10K. Oh, man. Okay. Year over year, prices fell 3.1%, marking the steepest annual decline in 7 months. Of the 70 cities surveyed, 62 posted price declines from 58 in December. Home prices in China have now fallen in 43 of the last 46 months. the worst streak on record. In the resale market, prices plunged 7.6% year over year in Tier 1 cities and over 6% in smaller cities. Meanwhile, primary property sales are set to fall another 10% to 14% in 2026 as massive oversupply continues to weigh on prices. China's housing downturn is now approaching its 6th year with no bottom in sight. That is crazy. Imagine a country full of empty houses. That's kind of creepy. Okay. Trueflation posted U.S. inflation today based on millions of real price data. I checked this community note. It's like the CPI is different because this one's measured daily. So it's kind of a nothing burger community note. It actually pisses me off when people do this because like nobody asked. Literally nobody asked. Trueflation is like we know that. Nobody's thinking that this is something that it's not. I don't know. It bothered me. U.S. CPI, 0.94%. U.S. core CPI, excluding food and energy, 1.51%. Our headline inflation index has remained below the Fed's 2% target and below 1% since February. The latest uptrend from 0.74% was driven by price increases in health, education, clothing, and public transport. It primarily reflected services inflation rather than goods inflation, suggesting that the effect of current tariffs is now completely baked in. Hell yeah. We said that was going to happen. It turns out tariffs are non-inflationary. What? That's so weird, Jerome. Maybe it's time to cut interest rates and stop spending $2.4 billion on a basement renovation when you could literally build a whole new building for cheaper than that. It's ridiculous. Insane. Insanity. The Burj Khalifa cost less. The Burj Khalifa cost $1 billion less than the renovations that the Fed's doing. That's crazy. Update. Harvard reduced Ourbit holdings in Q4 by 21%, but added $86.8 million to iShares Ethereum Trust. Bitcoin still remains its largest disclosed position at $265.8 million. Very cool. Charles Schwab, $169 billion Charles Schwab is hiring a senior product manager to lead digital asset and stablecoin initiatives. Very cool. Insight Strategy plans to convert $6 billion in convertible debt into equity over 3 to 6 years, providing a buffer against debt even if Bitcoin drops further. Good for them. Have a plan and stick to it. Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley says $260 million flowed into Bitwise Asset Management on-chain solutions last week. Very cool. Michael Saylor said markets closed, Bitcoin open. Happy HODL day. I love that. That's another good one. My favorite still to this day. All of the crazy rants and monologues and whatever you want to call them that Saylor goes through, my favorite actual quote from him that I've ever seen is Bitcoin is the exit strategy. That's the coolest quote I've seen from him so far. I haven't seen him spew anything that cool since then. But he does talk a lot. I'm sure he'll say something eventually. Latest, Animoca Brands secures a virtual asset service provider license in Dubai. Very cool. This one's weird. Russia's finance ministry says their crypto turnover now exceeds $650 million per day, or $130 billion annually. What are they doing? Because they got to be doing something to actually earn that amount of money. That's kind of like, it was a little crazy when I saw that. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Sentiment, the Fear and Greed Index has remained in extreme fear throughout February so far. Let's go check the traditional Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index on Alternative Me. It is sitting at 10. Yesterday it was at 12, both of which were extreme fear. Last week it was at 9. We did reach our all-time low of 5 on February 12th. We have literally never, ever, ever in history been that low before. Closest we've gotten is this, and I believe that this is a 6. Or maybe it is a 5. No, that is a 6, actually. We can't get to it, though, because whoever designed this website did a horrible job. Oh, there it is. It is a 5. Oh, my gosh. I can't. Oh, I moved the mouse. Dang it. How do I get to it again? There it is. It's a 5. We've been lied to. Okay. So, when was that? Oh, jeez. August 22nd, 2019. August 22nd, 2019. August 22nd, 2019. August 22nd, 2019. 2019, August 22nd. August 22nd, 2019. Where is it? Bam. Is it that? August 15th. Let's go. August 22nd, 2019. What? Was it that? No, it's September. August 22nd, 2019. What? That wasn't even a bad day. Everyone back in 2019, y'all were a bunch of weenies. What the hell? What is this? So you went from 12,900 something down to what? 10K? Calm down. Yeah. Okay. That's kind of silly. That's really funny. They must have been doing the surveys back then. Everyone was like freaking out. That's funny, man. 9, 8. Let's go to June 2022. May, June 2022. May, June 2022. It's going to be over here. May. Yeah. May through June. Yeah. Right there. May through June 2022, that big fat cloud. So you had dumpy downside, chop, dump, chop. Interesting. And that's where we talked about Bitcoin potentially doing this, where we're kind of at this point and we're waiting for one of these, that final like little trough right there, till we actually start to climb out of this. Yeah, because we got our 2 drops. So if we kind of just consider this the top, and then we get drop 1, shelf, drop 2, and then bottom with like a little fake out of the downside. Right now we got drop 1, shelf, drop 2, and then we're looking at bottom with that little trough to the downside, which is where I think I talked about 65 or 50. I think it was 65 originally, because we were looking at 70K to be the floor and then 65 to be that little fake out. Now I'm a little on the fence. I think that that's a little too bullish. And again, this is all recency bias talking. We might climb out of this and become like super crazy bullish in a week or less. But if we take all of this into consideration, not that 38,175, but my 51,500, I'm guessing that this is a possibility. We're going to kind of trade around 60 and 70 for our actual like established floor, with a fake out down to like 51 or 52K. Again, that's just an idea. I'm not married to it. I don't hate it though. And actually, I have it drawn down here on the RSI, what justified that 51.5 level. We went to the weekly. Yeah, look at the weekly RSI right here. Weekly RSI. And then, what was it? Was it index? No. There's a certain chart. Yeah, right here. Weekly RSI. We got 84% pullback, 71% pullback. We were like, what if this is a 58% pullback based on that average? 84 to 71, 71 to 58. It kind of checks out. More money in the market, less people to sell, or less people willing to sell. So we go from candle body. I don't like to do the wicks. 58, which put me at that 51.5. So that was my concept, and that idea behind that on the weekly is for the RSI to touch that trend line, because that's historically where it goes during the bear market. Now we have had instances where it didn't touch it for little pullbacks. March 2020. We're just not going to talk about that. We got our establishment, touch number 1, 2018, touch number 2, 2022. We're coming into touch number 3 for 2026. My guess is that that's going to be 51.5. And again, not a financial advisor, total guess, but that's how I got to that random miscellaneous number. Gosh, this chart is such a pigsty. This is like a hoarder's chart. I'm hoarding lines. It's ridiculous. Okay. Latest, a dormant pre-mine wallet with 1430 ETH, 1,430 ETH worth $2.8 million today and $443 in 2015 has reactivated after 10.6 years. That's pretty crazy. Imagine putting 443 bucks into something back in just 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, and coming out now with $2.8 million. That'd be pretty sick. Cointelegraph posted, alert, scammers are mailing fake Trezor and Ledger letters with QR codes that lead to phishing sites designed to steal users' crypto wallet recovery phrases. So be careful out there, guys. Double, triple verify. You get something in the mail and you're unsure, instead of doing anything the letter says, if it says your identity's been stolen, we need you to go on this specific website and verify this and all that stuff, you know Trezor's actual website. Go to it. Contact them. Call their customer service. Take 20, 30 minutes on the phone. Say, hey, I got this in the mail. Is this real? Talk to a real person. Don't get scammed. Just do your best. This is a PSA. Do your best not to get scammed. Sometimes it's a little bit hard. They get a little sneaky, but do what you can do. Justin, President Donald Trump says the U.S. economy, markets, and national security are stronger than ever. Big, U.S. housing affordability has reached its lowest level in history. That's pretty funny. OpenSea is expected to make an announcement on March 30th. OpenSea is the NFT platform, so hopefully it's not them closing their doors. It'd be kind of crazy for them to do an announcement of them closing their doors. Latest, Wintermute launched institutional over-the-counter trading for tokenized gold and expects the market to reach $15 billion by 2026. That one's crazy. Michael Saylor posted, on a bank holiday, Bitcoin can send any amount of money anywhere on Earth in minutes for 44 cents. That is pretty sick. Last year, Raoul Pal was calling for an elongated cycle in Bitcoin, 5 years instead of 4. If this thesis is made to be true, this 50% Bitcoin correction may only be a short-term move downward, followed by a major parabolic rally. That would be so sick. And if something like this does happen before like September, October, again, I'm going to be the most abrasive a-hole to people like Ben Cowan and all the cocky people that were like, I told you before you strike, and they're probably going to block me even more than they already have. Breaking, Mike McGlone says Bitcoin could fall to 10K as a U.S. recession risk builds. That's pretty crazy. If you invested $10,000 into PayPal exactly 5 years ago, you'd have $1,685 today. Not too bad. That sucks. This is why you do not buy the hype. You gotta relax. When you see something overhyped, you just take a step back, take a deep breath. If you need to FOMO, throw like $5 into it. You're okay with losing $5. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Bar chart also posted Bitcoin RSI plunged to 16 earlier this month, its most oversold level in November, or since November 2018. That's pretty crazy. It's been 8 years since we hit a level like that. And last but not least, we've got Google now trading below its 50-day moving average by the largest margin since April 2025. Damn. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. It's Kwame said, do you follow Plan B on socials with his stock to flow model? I think so. I haven't seen anything from him in a very, very long time, though. Very, very long time. Let's see. Plan B. Maybe I have. No, I think I saw Plan C post something. Plan B, stock to flow. Has he not? Okay, we got something February 14th. Okay. Copy link. Bitcoin price currently tracks difficulty better than power law, time, or stock to flow. Okay. Power law, Bitcoin. Huh. far as I know, difficulty follows price, but it's always lagging. It's endogenous. Same as central bank policy and the lagged transmission mechanism. Also on endogenous adjustment lag. I don't know what endogenous means, but that's a cool word. Anything else from Plan B to take a look at? He's really posting the shit out of that Dutch government thing. Here it is. February 1st. So it's been a couple of weeks since we've had an update. But February 1st, stock to flow. Bitcoin closed January at $78,635. 38% down from all-time high. 200-week moving average at 58K. Realized price 55K, decreasing. RSI dropped below 50. Blue official bear territory. Historically, Bitcoin could drop to the 200-week moving average, RP levels. However, bull has been weak, no red, so bear might be shallow. That is true. That is very true. That's kind of how I feel right now. If that was truly the bull market, then that's embarrassing. That is very, very embarrassing for Bitcoin. What's it going to do? Plateau and then eventually drop? You know what I mean? What's the game plan here? For Bitcoin specifically. All right. I suppose I'm going to call it. It's kind of a nothing burger day, you know? Figured I'd get on, go over everything with you guys, and we'll see what the market looks like tomorrow when everything opens back up. Again, I think the most exciting thing for me is the potential for a bullish ISM PMI print in 2 weeks. That would be huge. Exactly 2 weeks from today. So time will tell. Guys, I appreciate you guys for stopping by and for smashing the like button and participating in the polls. Let's end our poll. I asked you guys, where's Bitcoin heading at tomorrow's opening bell? 40% of you guys, we got 10 votes. 40% of you guys said breakout to 71K. 40% said choppy sideways. And 20% said rejection to 65K. Kwame said, thanks for the stream. Thank you for showing up, my friend. Cheers. Happy Monday. Hope you guys have a kick-ass week. We're going to kill it no matter what happens. We'll be here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Monday and good night.